What up? Hey, let's get ready. Let's get started. Yo, this is about to be different. This is about to hit way different. What up, what up, what up? Everybody say what up. Come on in here. Oh, shit. Oh Lord, why they come for Zoe? Damn it.
Their 870 locations help, and Express never charges job seekers a fee. Go to expresspros.com.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 15.
Leave us.
As a law school graduate and a theologian, with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation,
Leave us.
both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes 2 to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Everybody hit the like button. That's all I got for you. Hit the like button. I'm concerned because there's nothing wrong. No, I'm not. I'm single and I'm ready to mingle. Why is that, ladies? Everybody hit the like button. What up, everybody? Everybody hit the like button. Let's go.
I'm gonna say my question is blank. You tell the listeners out there what is the importance of your teachings and bring them forward to some teachings. So now we will give you the next 10 minutes to put that forward. Okay, I'll take half.
the major importance of our teachings is attacking the areas that need most. It's clear that our people in general have an identity issue. We're arguing, we're debating, it's over identity. We could have the same intentions, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, around that area. We all have the same intentions, but to make the first step, we know in Kemet and all around the earth and the different spiritual systems that Moors brought from Kemet, they're teaching you to know yourself. Yes. That is the foundation principle, and all things come after. Just knowing that you're a Moor is a part of the process, but it gets deep into what relevance does that have. The relevance is, as Moors, our founding Egyptologist of our respect, Dr. Ben, and our Chikang Diabs spoke of history being, they could trace history from ancient Kemet, but when it got to a certain period of time, all of their information, all of their research went to Spain, went to Moorish Spain, and when he got into that part of history, that's when he started to wake up and see why this is important. Important is we created law, stemming from the people, stemming from the concept of creating nations, in other words, republics. And in these, we established law. The same law that people are finding themselves not protected by nowadays, especially modern day Moors or people who don't know that their nationality. The fact is that they created this law. We had the standard. When we lost knowledge of ourselves in terms of the law and the nations and the republics that we set up, we now became a slave to our own design. Mm-hmm. So
Okay, I see what my niece is doing. She just gave us a brief little history on the Moorish Science Temple. You know, disenfranchised, marginalized communities, especially here in America, African Americans, we've always branched out and started our own thing when the dominant society chose not to accept us. And my niece sent me this clip, right, to give an example of that, right? You had Noble Drew Ali in the Moorish Science Temple. You had Marcus Garvey, right? Hell, some could even argue, well, maybe not. I won't go that far. But I will ask this question. Very, very important question. Are disenfranchised, i.e. marginalized communities the ultimate codependents? You do know, according to Ross Rosenberg's work in his book, The Human Magnet Syndrome, that codependents and narcissists are attracted to each other. Right? You do understand that. Could disenfranchised and marginalized communities be the ultimate codependents? Because we're always, that's right, Prince Hall Masons. Absolutely. Let's have our own. This brings us to tonight's topic. Because a lot of stuff is happening out here in these streets, and people are not happy about it. Okay? There's an actress by the name of Cynthia Erivo. She was casted as Jesus. Now, everybody knows she's a lesbian and all of this, that, and the third. Right? Some folks say casting a bald black lesbian as Jesus is not only repulsive, but demonic and an abomination. Right? Cynthia Erivo's new role as Jesus at the Hollywood Bowl, Jesus Christ Superstar, has some black folks online in shambles. Clips of her performance went viral over the weekend, and now the black internet is sounding the alarms for what they deem to be straight up blasphemy and disrespect. Let's unpack it. Right? That's one thing that's happening. That's a whole story that's going down. That I know black Christians are not here for it. Right? Say, wait a minute, Zoe, get back to the part about the Moorish Science Temple. Well, disenfranchised black folk have always created their own organizations. You guys can name them so we can have our own say, so we can have our own voice, right? Somebody said Prince Hall. I remember the white Masons that came to America that established, or the extension of the Mother Lodge from England. They weren't really down with black Masons, even though the Benjamin Banneker's of the world, who's also, Prince Hall, right, were not only speculative Masons, but operative Masons, actually building Washington, D.C. But we've always established our own thing. Like we said earlier, whether it be Moorish Science Temple, whether it be Nation of Islam, right, which came out of that. I think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a part of the Moorish Science Temple. And then later came out of that and established the NOI, Nation of Islam. And some people want to get mad, right? And say, hey, wait a minute. You guys just made up your own version of Islam? Well, the Mormons did their own version of Christianity, right? The prophet Joseph, homeboy Joseph, the Mormon dude, just said, yeah, I saw a couple of angels. Yeah, we can't forget Marcus Garvey, of course. Saw a couple of angels and I decided to start my own. Basically, 2 angels had some scrolls, some scriptures, some golden bejeweled scriptures here in America that said Jesus came over here. No facts, but we're just going to start it because we can. What does that have to do with this young lady playing Jesus? Leads us to tonight's topic. Finding your authentic voice, a captivating exploration of the reasons why the LGBT+Q community should create and embrace its own authentic voice. Why does Jesus have to be a black lesbian woman? So you can feel included? They've been lying about Jesus the whole time. The powers that be have been lying about Jesus the whole time. Notice they never really want to talk about race when it comes to the religious scriptures. But you want, back to Krishnamurti, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted in a sick society. This is what led me to my original question. Are disenfranchised/marginalized communities the ultimate codependence? This society that we live in is toxic. Nobody can argue that. Not anybody can argue that this is a toxic culture. We're all walking around with Nikes on, right? Allegedly, Nike uses child labor somewhere else in some other country, right? But that doesn't stop us from picking up a pair when the Air Force Ones start to get bent out of shape. So come on now. My question to this community, the LGBT+Q community, why must you recontextualize these archetypes in your own image when you can just be a creative human being, right? A creative community, and do like black folk did, or even some other white folk. We got the Jehovah's Witness. They say, hey, we know Charles Taze Rutherford and Charles Tazzle and all. We know the founding fathers of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Y'all can call in and have at it. We know the founding fathers were Masons. Go back to the founding fathers' grave. They got Masonic temples and pyramids on their grave. Come on. Why can't the LGBT community do the same? Create your own religion instead of recontextualizing Christianity. I'm not saying you shouldn't have the freedom to do both. I'm not saying you're wrong. Why not write it? Write your own belief system. Tavis Smiley, when talking to him earlier, brought up an interesting point. From an external vantage, the persistent efforts of the LGBT community to secure inclusion within mainstream society invites complex scrutiny. While these efforts have yielded tangible legal and social gains, they also encounter a paradox. Attempting integration into a system marked by entrenched structural toxicity may inadvertently propagate the very dynamics of oppression and fragmentation that the community seeks to escape. Is inclusion the problem? Why be included or seek inclusion in a toxic society? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said a long time ago, he mimicked, not mimic, excuse me, that's disrespectful. And you know, I love the minister. He didn't mimic, but he said the exact same things that Malcolm said. Now, did black people learn from what the minister, Malcolm X and Farrakhan said? I think we learned some things, but they said total separation. I think as society moved on, maybe total separation has been a forgotten kind of point. Maybe somebody can call in and check me on it. I'd like to hear your opinion. 1-800-920-15. I'm very interested to know. But should the LGBT community seek separation within the nation? Right? It's an argument that the Nation of Islam has been speaking on and fighting over for a very long time. Just give us a piece of land and it'll be our little country or part of the country. You owe us anyway, reparations, right? And the LGBT plus Q community has incorporated a lot of the civil rights scaffolding that we had laid down in the 60s and 70s and 80s. So wouldn't it stand to reason, instead of fighting against a system that views you as an abomination, create your own nation? This is deep. This is going to be powerful. Is inclusion the problem? Inclusion in this sense risks becoming a vector of continued psychic and social contamination rather than true liberation. Emerging from this tension is the concept of psychological sovereignty, the assertion that individuals and communities possess an inherent right to self-governance over their internal narratives, cultural mythologies, and spiritual frameworks without external validation or assimilation. Is the LGBT community looking for validation from a toxic society? When we come forward, the voice of reason gonna keep cooking. Let's go. This gonna help the world is comedy. Everybody hit the like button. Ooh. This makes growing older scary. Y'all got to talk to me. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Delineation is what's happening today, and they mad. Talk to me. Andy. Oh. We're going to play that clip in the next piece. Yeah, no, this piece coming up? Yes. I'm proud of you, Zoe, but you're gonna go to Christian jail today. Why? Why am I going to Christian jail? What did I? I'm not. I'm saying, hey, go do you. That's all I'm saying. Go do you and let the system that is already here do itself. Christian jail is crazy. I want y'all opinion. Y'all got to talk to me. Man, y'all should call in and stop playing, man. I want to hear from y'all. What are we doing? The likes are low. I'm speaking holy water on you. Thank you, Albert. I need it. I need all the holy water I can get. I dare you to call in and ask that question. That's what I'm looking for, that smoke. I dare you to call in and ask that question. Let's call. This is why I'm doing this show. We got to talk. It's not just me. We have to talk. Y'all got to call in. It can't be a 35-minute setup. Y'all got to call in. Don't leave me hanging. Get to the phone lines right now.
Course, 10 years after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of same-sex marriage across the United States, it could now be overturned. Senior Washington correspondent Devin Dwyer is on the story for us. All right, give us the deal, Devin. Who is actually asking the justices to overturn this?
Well, in recent years, Kira, we've been waiting for a case like this as some of the sentiment in the country has started to shift a little bit, softened rather, against same-sex marriage. There's been a lot of talk about whether the justices would get a chance to reconsider the case. And as you said there, they are getting that opportunity next month. We've learned that Kim Davis, she's that Kentucky clerk from back in 2015 that was at the center of international controversy when she refused to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple in Kentucky in defiance of the Supreme Court. She spent 6 days in jail. She lost a defamation suit. She had to pay $100,000 in damages, $260,000 in legal fees. That's what she's appealing to the Supreme Court, but it's the first time, Kira, that anyone has technically asked the justices explicitly to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges, which was that landmark ruling, and she does just that. Her counsel in this petition, which was filed last week, says that decision was egregiously wrong, and if that sounds familiar, that's the same type of argument that was made by opponents of abortion when they sought to overturn Roe versus Wade just a few years ago.
Man. So if it's coming down the pike, potentially, and sure, this is not going to happen without a fight, if it's coming down the pike, why not create your own culture? Why recontextualize what is defined as homonormative culture? Are you trying to make homonormative culture after your image and after your likeness? Or are you trying to be seen as equal in a homonormative culture? Would a homonormative culture ever perceive you to be equal? We can go back and look at some of the disenfranchised and marginalized communities in America. And we, as black folk, been struggling, right, to be seen as equal. Every year, and let me remind you of the year, which is almost over, 2025. We have 4 months left in 2025, so we're almost up on 2026. Every year, we hear that famous phrase, such as so-and-so became the first black, and you're saying, wait a minute, it's 2026? The first black woman, the first black man. We're still having the firsts. So America has been slow to be inclusive. And I don't want to hear from the well-to-do Negroes that'll be like, it was great for me, and all you had to do was... You have a wonderful story, and I'm not here to marginalize it, but that's not everybody's story. Do you understand? So I'm telling a community that I'm not a part of, why not take a page? I mean, it's not as if you haven't taken pages before. Why not take a page and create your own narrative? Why must Jesus, why do we have to have a gay version of Jesus? Do you understand? This isn't to say you shouldn't do it, because you're already doing it. But it is also to say, why not have the courage and the creativity to create your own narrative, your own authentic truth? Now, in intimate relationships, what happens? It's not about your partner. It's about how you love on you. Your first relationship, the most important relationship, is the relationship you have with yourself, right? Right? Then you go out into the community and have a relationship with the community. Maybe the LGBT plus Q community would do itself a favor, right, by engaging in this relationship with itself that isn't dependent on validation, acceptance, and inclusion from a toxic, mainstream, dominant society. Maybe you're looking in the wrong direction for validation when you should be trying to validate yourself. This is a tough topic, guys. I know it is. I know. When we come forward, the phone lines are cracking. I want to talk to folks. Let's get it.
It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Broward Superintendent Dr. Howard Hubbard in Florida says the new school changes include more elementary schools becoming safe academies, teacher vacancy rate under 2%, security remains.
Yeah. Albert, you can skip, dog. Nobody's here propagating or promoting an alternative lifestyle. If you're not intelligent enough to understand the conversation, I get it. You can skip. We're having a real conversation about, hey, write your own narrative. Stop, taking over other people's narratives. Come on. That's all I'm saying. Write your own. We had to write our own. Andy, I see your face in there, Andy. Hey, Andy in there going, shit.
Hey,
Andy like, yo, you wildin' tonight, so.
I hear what you're saying.
Am I wildin'?
You're not wilding. You make a real strong, valid point. Considering black folk, we had to make do with whatever. So it's like it's one thing to kind of are they co-opting or
Yeah.
just create your own shit. Like what? Like shout out to my homie. He's a security guard. He was kind of like one of the leads.
Yeah.
He had to report to a situation. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
And I guess one of his fellow coworkers. The way security works, I guess, they work in different buildings or whatnot, so you don't really know all of your coworkers.
Right.
So while he was over here trying to observe and report and all this other type of stuff, while he's talking to his colleague, he goes ahead and says, oh, so like basically using the her and she pronouns while speaking to her.
Right.
She gets offended, goes to HR, gets this nigga suspended.
Wow.
And it was like, that's kind of messed up because how was he supposed to know what you identify as?
Right.
And how, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Right.
just kind of messed up that people use that. It's just a messed up situation.
Hey, we on one tonight. I'm going to the phone lines. Everybody hit that like button, please. The most. Okay, my nephew in here wilding. It's about to get crazy. We about to go in. I meant pause. Wow. Wow. This is y'all in here. You guys are in here wilding out. Hey, but seriously, no disrespect. This is a caller-driven show. I know you guys are conditioned on YouTube to just watch and not interact. We want people to interact. And it's a lot of people in here from different states. You should call in. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. This is a live radio show. Yes, you're watching the behind the scenes YouTube feed, but this is a live radio show. And we encourage people to call in and participate. Please just don't sit there and chat every now and again. We want to hear from you. We want your thoughts. We want your opinions. So what I'm doing here by reading certain things is actually setting up the topic, asking questions, giving facts, all of that. I'm asking you to call in. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. That is called the setup. We're setting up the discussion. Because oftentimes people come in at different times, and every time they come in, they go, what y'all talking about? Right? This is what we talking about. And I would love for you guys to call in. Again, 1-800-920-1580. Set up good? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? This is gonna be good. Okay. Man, let me throw in Kwanzaa. And the playlist is bananas. Sure.
Anything you walked away from this conversation with, I want you to walk away with this specifically. Remember, all of this is energy, okay? It's all energy. So even when you get into conflicts or you experience something in your life that there was a lot of energy transferred at that moment, remember that that energy is trying to do the same thing all energy tries to do: survive. Okay? I want you to realize this. When you get into a situation and there's strong energetic signatures being used, this could be arguments, this could be anything. Joy, that's the one we were talking about earlier. Find those joy reference points. But even the arguments and things, they're energies and they want to survive. So how do you think an argumentative energy can survive other than by continuously reminding you of it? Now, the issue with the I-ness, because again, there's pros and cons, the I-ness likes to focus on those things only. Because what the I-ness is like, I don't ever want that to happen again. Okay, that's why the I-ness gets stuck a lot. Never wants that to happen again. So what will happen is it'll keep reminding you, remember that bad thing happened? Remember blah, 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 and so and so? This is why I don't deal with those kind of folks. And the reason why it's doing that is because it thinks, because it doesn't really function like the subconscious and the collective side of things, it thinks that if you...
Who is this young man?
I don't know his name, but the name of the page on YouTube is Inner Standing. Inner Standing.
Inner Standing. Right? And I get the little woo-woo piece. My niece is throwing curveballs on these clips. I get the little woo-woo piece. And to bring it down to the ground a little bit, this principle reframes liberation not as negotiated acceptance within dominant paradigms, but as radical autonomy over identity and collective meaning making. That's really what this is about. I'm hip to that, brother. Seven Bomar. I'm hip. I know that, brother. Seven Bomar. He's down in Costa Rica. Yes, I'm hip to his work. But again, I think what he's trying to outline here in a very kind of woo-woo way is liberation is an internal thing, kind of like inalienable rights, right? Historically, various marginalized groups have pursued similar paths of self-determination through the formation of alternative religious, social, and economic structures within America. Yeah, again, like I mentioned earlier today, you have the Moorish Science Temple founded by Noble Drew Ali, right? They did a lot of work to build the self-esteem up of the marginalized people here in America. Us, the Nation of Islam under Elijah Muhammad, established rigorous moral, economic, and dietary codes that function as tools for communal health and resistance within an oppressive capitalist system. Comparatively, you got the Jehovah's Witnesses, developed disciplined missionary practices to propagate a distinct worldview. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints cultivated genealogical projects that reasserted historical continuity for its adherents. And Scientology, let's not forget L. Ron Hubbard, right? Engineered a system of trauma auditing aimed at psychological emancipation. These precedents suggest possible frameworks for the LGBT community's exploration of separatist yet integrative models. The cultivation of independent ceremonial practices, linguistic innovations, governance systems, and economic ecosystems could enable the construction of a psycho-spiritual infrastructure that affirms that community's distinct ontologies and lived realities. Now, listen, we've seen it. Yeah, you could be labeled. You're going to be marginalized, okay? Let me just say, if you go to separate route, you're not going to be equal. Tavis and I talked about that. Separate but equal. It didn't work here in America before, and it probably won't work again if the LGBT community goes out and tries to pull something like this off. But I also feel that shouldn't there be a certain level of respect for the homonormative culture? Maybe the homonormative culture pushed you out. Or, and we know it did. It's not maybe. We know the homonormative culture pushed you out. Great. So why not have the LGBT community be somewhat of the Buddha? Buddha left his culture. Buddhism is born out of Hinduism. Buddha left his culture. He was a prince. He was a Hindu, right? Buddha literally left his wife and kid and became a monk. So maybe somebody in that community has to go out and find their spiritual scripture. Maybe they have to have this spiritual awakening. Because I also feel, let's just be honest, does Big Mama need to see a black lesbian version of Jesus? Can we? It's a question. In this society, we so sensitive, we can't even ask tough questions. Do you think your Big Mama need to see that? And with the advent of social media, it's going to be almost impossible for her to skip it. We should have some crickets playing. I got callers. I'm going to come to you guys right after this. I'm going to come to you guys when we come forward.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice.
Fan keep blowing. There we go.
Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Phil Williams on KBL.
Oh, this shit is crazy.
It's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where
Are y'all ready? It's about to be on.
smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the Go Fluff, just pain, passion, and
Otto, and then our brother John Gilbreth II. I'm gonna start doing like, no.
And he wants a partner like Granger who does the same. Granger offers the professional grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Big Mama had to deal with white Jesus. Come on, Rashid! You should have been called in.
The first time. So you can do less of this. And get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions supply.
Hey, hey, the snipers be at the ready.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new justice care and opportunity.
And I'm trying not to laugh when the music is playing.
Involved individuals and their families. Support Center is now taking calls.
I got like this stupid little look on my face, but I'm trying not to laugh.
1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support.
The co-host is hilarious. I don't.
Connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available. 1-833.
Otto, where'd you go? I'm coming right to you.
This is a community call to action from
Otto, you got to call back, bro. You was my first caller, Otto. Damn it, Otto.
I actually think that the mental health conversations for our community can actually be very dangerous to us.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
How so?
Because I think that it sends, that's where the oversimplification comes in, right? Because it sends almost like this distorted reality that the world is supposed to see you. And I think that part of understand, and it's not even just about being black. It's because there's so many classes now. I mean, it's all of the things now, right? But people don't owe you anything, and I think that the more that you continue to fight for that, the more that you pull yourself from internal liberation. And I think that for us, if you don't understand mental health and really take advantage of the resources that are available to us and learn how to use it in a way that translates over to wisdom. Is that there's this black psychologist that I love. He says that information isn't always knowledge, and knowledge isn't always wisdom. Like, it does you no good to have resources and not know how to use them. And research will tell you that if you don't know how to use a tool effectively, then it's no longer, the utilization of it is no longer beneficial to you. So if we start using mental health conversations and language, or the tools like boundaries and all those other things. For example, I always say, like, boundaries cannot be a substitute for self-trust. To me, when I think of boundaries, I think of, like, growing up and your mom would be like, because I said so. Right. We've been doing boundaries, right? But we just didn't have language for it. But now today, the way that people use boundaries, it's less self-trust.
Man, I love Raquel Hopkins. She cooks every single time. Love her work. And the LGBT community is a part of the human family. And like I said, I had an uncle who was a part of that community. I have a brother who's a part of that community. I'm not here to, ostracize. But I am here to encourage. Why not create your own community where you don't have to pine for the acceptance of those who don't want you here? Can we be honest? Why would you beg for the attention, approval, acknowledgement, and acceptance from people who really could care less about you as a being? That's a very important question to ask. Here we go. We got callers. Let's get them in here. I don't know what happened to Otto. Otto from the town, you got to call back in, brother. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get these callers going. John, Mountain View, Hawaii. John, are you there?
Greetings and blessings to all.
Brother John, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Okay. Maybe I'm old enough to realize that the Jesus Christ Superstar has been done before.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
So again, for it to be chosen as a new actor to play in this specific role, let's bring about one point that should be absolutely understandable, and I hope that all the white people of this world finally get the point. At least y'all got the color right this time.
Oh, come on, Pastor John. At least they got the color right, the ethnicity. I'm rocking. Keep going. Come on, John. Keep cooking.
Currently in the Vatican, there is a picture of that's hidden in their vaults. It's got something to do with the Virgin Mary and Jesus being both black.
The Black Madonna. Right?
So again, if it's this Middle Eastern human being who happens to be with Bond's color of feet, at least we got the color right this time. No disrespect, but thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. Come on, I'm with this.
now let's talk about the other nuances, because again, yes, we are still waiting on the alphabet community to finally stop picking on children. When it comes to books, y'all want to write about the gay BCs?
Ooh.
Versus an actual book that we could hold you accountable for the madness that you have already started with the rest of us who have to doggone accept you as you are. So again, get to writing that book. Now we got something to talk about. Y'all got enough laws protecting y'all for everything. Most of y'all in the United States Senate and government are probably playing both sides of the spectrum.
That's what I was about to...
Whatever fluid madness y'all got going on, do you. Just don't bring that to my street once again. I got lava holes waiting on you.
He's in Hawaii. I got lava holes. I hear you. But wouldn't you say... Let me hit you with this, because I love asking you questions. I love your perspective. I just want you to share it with me. What Wouldn't you say that the LGBTQ community could be suffering, or maybe in the same predicament that black people are? You know how the Voting Right Act always comes up, and it's kind of like, hey, this might get overturned, or we just played a clip, right, where the Supreme Court is going to look at this case again, in terms of the same-sex marriage case again. So the question now becomes, aren't they in a precarious position in much the same way many black disenfranchised communities have been? Your thoughts?
Well, with the current demographic and the leader of the free world as we know it, that is something that could possibly be leaned on.
Right. So they might
But
be.
in the same as
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm just saying they might feel some level of anxiety because there's a lot of uncertainty around their community within the confines of this society.
But also, people who live in the Bible don't feel that same uncertainty. It's called weather, and it changes on a regular basis. And 9 times out of 10, there's a tornado or two that come through.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I'm trying to trivialize what they're going through. No, I don't want human beings to suffer, and you are a human being.
Yes.
So I don't want to be a president and presidentialize your situation as if I'm Obama. But I do want you to realize a few things. You're not escaping any of the madness you have to go through.
You saying this is part of your lesson for being here. You going a little woo-woo with us, and I'm with the woo-woo. You know that. But you're saying this is your path. This is your course. And you've got to stay it if you want to see what is at the end of this particular course. Is that what you're telling me?
Either stand the course, stand on your square, and growl at anybody you want. Or be moved off your square, because whatever force is going to do it is going to do it. And if you find yourself off of it, it's your choice to get back on it or not.
Got it. John, guess what you just did, my friend?
Mountain View's in the house, blessings to all. Now to these Benjamins.
Yeah, you brought Mountain View, Hawaii in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We're waiting for Otto to call us back. Otto, get back on the line. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. This man said, ain't no gay gorillas. I damn near choked. I damn near. Boy. Hey. This motherfucker said, ain't no gay gorillas. Fuck is he on? Hey. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I need good conversations. Is it toxic to go someone twice? I've been seeing this guy. Oh. And scene. Otto was like, hey, get up out of here. Hey, motherfuckers is wild. Otto is like, deuces. Get up out of here. And here I am reading this shit. Hey, and whoop, get up out of here. Oh my God. These trolls be smart sometimes. I've seen it.
Still exist. What are your bedroom turnoffs, fantasies, and fetishes? Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child
That
support?
first hour got up out of here.
How is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like, is this okay? Roll up there?
I'm pregnant. Trail has been committed. I hit you with a bad touch routine. How does he maintain his pomposity?
I like it when it pinches my lip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
So combative man on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
So William, reason and accountability. The voice of reason.
Again, it's a paraphrase Dr. King. I may not differ with you, but someday we shall enter the promised land where men and women will not be judged by their sexual desires, but by the content of their character.
Many fail to notice Mr. Kramer's substitution of the word sexual behavior for skin color as he misquoted the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. Thus began the 1993 March on Washington for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender equal rights.
The 1993 March on Washington for lesbian, gay, and bisexual equal rights. And the election comes 30 years after the 63 march that Dr. King immortalized because I have a dream speak. And the rest, this is a continuation of that civil rights struggle.
Now homosexuals are using not only the language, but they are beginning to insist that the statutes, the laws, all of the advantages gleaned by civil rights leaders such as Martin Luther King will now apply to homosexuals.
So we imagine a latest great civil rights movement of the 90s.
Not regard as a movement in this country that threatens to undermine and belittle the entire civil rights effort of the 1960s. Homosexuals have equal rights under the First Amendment, the 14th Amendment, and the state constitution in any state in which they reside. But the issue here today is special rights, a special category of protection. They want to be elevated from a behavior-based lifestyle to a true minority status that would give them special rights. Once we get our rights, we want to have mine.
It's an effort by homosexuals and lesbians to promote their lifestyle, what they want. Speaking equal treatment, they want to be able to push their ideas to get the acceptance of their lifestyle, and then to get special benefits as a result of it.
This Civil Rights Act amendment would completely neutralize the Civil Rights Act of 1964. What it would do is that it would say that anyone with any type of sexual preference, which would include anyone, would be protected under this law. So if there would be no protection for minorities specifically, our community is at the verge of a destiny.
So that guy that was talking, I guess this was 1993, you can even hear some of the politically incorrect language that he was using. Wow, his name was Larry Kramer, 1993, Larry Kramer. Again, my objective, right, from an observational standpoint, right, the central inquiry of this show becomes, can the LGBTQ plus community successfully nurture self-contained social and spiritual ecosystems that resist being co-opted by the dominant society? And can they do this to kind of foster their own authentic voice outside of the voices of others, right? And I'm not saying outside of black people. Like I'm saying outside of the voices of the dominant society saying something's wrong with you. And then it comes back to this question of inclusion. Why would you want to be included in a society who views you as an abomination? Why? Right? You would tell a woman who had been beaten, marginalized, disrespected by her man, don't you go back there. Don't you do it. Right? I'm going to tell your mom and them if you go back to him. Right? We typically tell people to run from toxic relationships, right? And if society, the dominant society, right, at large, does not view you with respect or unconditional regard, why would you seek inclusion there? And as the video articulated, or the clip we played articulated, elements of, the 60s, right? And our fight meaning black folk, all of us, right? All of us, including, gay and lesbian folk. It included all of us, right? But there have been elements of the civil rights movement that have been integrated there. Fine. Okay. Why not create your own reality? We don't have to redo Jesus. You don't have to redo Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie don't have to be gay, right? Just create your own Sesame Street. It's yours, though. It's yours, right? When I was raising my children, they're all adults now. When I was raising them, we had this lady who was a sister, but she was a mathematician. She was a school teacher, and she made all of these fly hip hop videos that she produced herself, where she was dancing and rapping, and every type of math had its own rap song where she solved problems and equations. It was us. It was our story teaching math. I would never let her teach math in a classroom like that, but she was like, it was fly. We had other videos where we had people that were talking about, it was like black stories that integrated the great cultures that emerged from black people. Like, it was this one cartoon that was about the Dogon, and it was a special little kid, and he had these powers, but then there were other and they were using the Dogon story to kind of tell this story. My kids loved it because it gave them a stronger sense of self. Why do you have to or seek to, A, be included in a toxic society calling on Krishnamurti? It is no measure of health to be well adjusted in a sick society. That's number one. And then number two, why do you seek to recontextualize, right, what they call the homonormative narratives? These are serious questions that I think should be answered. And I would love to hear from you. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. I know it's difficult. In sum, the model that I'm presenting, right? In sum, this model foregrounds a shift from seeking validation within pre-existing frameworks towards the deliberate cultivation of psychological sovereignty as a path to genuine autonomy, both individual and collective, within a landscape historically marked by marginalization and contested belonging. Black people are still experiencing contested belonging. And I'm sure our good folk over at the LGBT plus Q community, they're still our family because all of us got uncles and sisters and cousins that are a part of that community. So it's not like they're over there on the other side, right? It's still us. But their belonging is being contested. Why do we constantly seek integration into those who contest our very spirit? In a world where civility feigns morality and inclusion masks deep-rooted injustice, the quest for an authentic LGBT plus Q voice emerges as a revolutionary act of self-determination. Krishnamurti's searing observation, "It is no measure of hell to be well adjusted to a sick society," lays bare the paradox. A society that cloaks systemic injustice, racism, and narcissistic toxicity in the guise of progress and stability is no sanctuary for the wounded. Black folk know this. We wake up every day like, oh, Lord, we made it. That's what my homeboy says to me every time we have a birthday. He'd be like, yo, man, you made it. Do you see? Why should any community scarred by centuries of exclusion and distortion and willingly surrender its singularity to an environment that thrives on conformity and exploitation? Black folk know all about that. Conform and allow us to exploit all of the wonderful things you create. Now, we can say we're progressive, but let's not act like this isn't still happening to black folk today. I don't even want to go any deeper. We got callers on the line, and I want to get them in here. Attila from Houston, Texas. Attila, Lord have mercy. What in the name of sweet baby race? Why people ask me to cover things? They know what I'm gonna. Why? Attila, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I mean, I'm going to keep it pretty brief. I think this topic is super dope. But something that you and I talked about earlier today, I was saying that, like, inclusion ultimately leads to authenticity exclusion. Because in order for you to be included, you have to give up something, right? I think what it kind of is reminding me of is, like, how when you're someone who struggles with people-pleasing, with the anxious attachment styles, right? You're constantly trying to justify your existence to that person, right? So you kind of become like accustomed to bartering your integrity. And I think, I think a lot of these situations start in that way. A lot of these isms and things there's a power dynamic, and ultimately you're having to give up a little bit of yourself in order to be included. So I think, I don't know, as long as we forego our authenticity, our integrity is fulfilled.
But see, you are cooking because as black folk, we know this to be true. Listen, code switching, come on. Now, we know this to be true. In order to be included, you got to act a certain way. You have to
act a certain way, talk a certain way, believe a certain way.
Come on.
That's why there's like layers within layers, right? Like even when you think about like black folks, you know, in terms of how we deal with things or our politics or different beliefs, there's so many layers within it because I think everyone is in a different stage of their awakening. So
say more about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, say more.
Because I think the more comfortable you are, the less likely you are to question these things. Part of the reason why these questions come up about freedom, identity, and authenticity is because you, at some point, realize that the things around you are not matching what's going on the inside, right? So I think because we're all at a different stage in that point, when it comes to the self-actualization or whatever you want to call it, that's why you have so many layers within these different groups.
Huh.
People believe different things, have certain ideologies, and then their conditioning plays a part in it as well.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I gotta ask this question. Do you think this community, LGBTQ community, their in kind of incessant desire to be included in into this society, do you think it's because this toxic place houses their mothers, their mothers' mothers, their lineage, right? Their genealogy. So it's kind of almost like this culture is as much mine as it is yours, and you don't have the right to exclude me. Do you think that is the perspective?
I would definitely say for some, the entitlement plays a huge part. I mean, you see that kind of even with the crossover elements when it comes to gender versus your sexuality. Like, you know, that's a big reason why I feel like women and maybe transgender ladies tend to bump heads, because everyone is trying to control the other one's narrative, what is said, how it's said, spoken. So, of course, there's going to be issues there because they think they're you. In their mind, they're like, well, my experience is similar to yours. And you're just
Wait. You going too fast. When you say they, let me get clear, because is they one of the pronouns?
I don't ask me.
Well, you said, I just want to be politically correct. You said they say. When you say they,
transgender people, LGBT, whatever. When you're talking about the battle between transgender women and natural born women, part of that battle is
stop.
because there's not enough.
Stop. Hold on.
Yeah.
You were hipping me to something that I am totally unaware of, and I've got to give you space to talk about it. You're telling me that there is a battle between transgender women and biological women, or what is called cis women?
Yeah.
Stay right there.
I hate that term.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. In the name of sweet baby Ray. I'm too old for this, man. I ain't gonna be able to get to sleep tonight. Listen, we have to have difficult conversations, and that's what the VOR, the voice of reason, is about. When we come forward, we're going back to Houston, Texas, to talk to my niece, Attila. She's about to let me in on some heavy stuff. That's the term I heard. Yo, it's going tonight. Yo, tonight is wild. Show me that you bleed. Kendrick said that. Yo. Yo, this shit wild. This shit golden. This is golden radio. Golden. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's why you should call in. Please call in. Please. Would you please call in? Please. LS, you gotta call in. Po little tink tink. Y'all gotta call in. Revolt up in this motherfucker, man. God damn. I make you cuss? You're not gonna cuss. You're a professional. I'm talking about in your professional life, in your occupation. You're not gonna cuss. I really want you guys to talk about it. Listen, nobody's voice has more weight than a black woman on this. I need to know. Then call in. Please. Right, it does. Oh my God. Really? Say it.
A few months ago, after knowing Eckhart Tolle for a while and studying the books, I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing. And how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe. And ever since that day, I've been trying to get back there.
Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. Listen. Oh, I love Jim Carrey. But guess what? If that is true of all human beings, shouldn't the journey be exactly what Jim described? If you're one with the source of all that is, the foundation of all reality, why do you need approval and acknowledgement and validation from a society that is clearly lost its spiritual and moral way? Please accept me. It sounds like, what's that term? When you fall in love with your captor, when you fall in love with your abuser, what is it called? It's a syndrome. Somebody will tell me. I forgot. I'm old now. I forget things. Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, it sounds a lot like that, right? This is a heavy, heavy, heavy topic. We got callers on the line. I want to get them in here so they can get their thoughts out. Attila, please define what you were talking about. You got 2 minutes. Let's go.
2 minutes? 2 minutes for what?
Don't worry. Hold on. Don't worry. I got more. You were saying that there's some kind of rift between women and trans women.
Yeah.
That I was totally unaware of.
Yeah. It's like I look at it like repackaged misogyny. Like.
Really?
So the reason why, yes, and the reason why I say this is because, we speak about women's rights and men, maybe having certain prejudices towards women. But it's funny because I feel like even in the rift between trans women and women, that same energy still exists even there. Just saying.
Really?
Yes.
No. Help me to visualize what you're saying. You're telling me trans women feel like men with regards to how they express their, I guess, anger, angst, or whatever towards women. You're saying it feels the same?
Yes, because I feel like there's a certain level of entitlement there. That was the whole issue with the bathrooms, right?
No. Stay right here. Stay right here. Don't go nowhere. I'm sorry. Don't go nowhere. You stay right there, child, when we come forward. Lord have mercy. I'm getting schooled. I didn't know all of this was happening when we come forward. More from the VOR. Attila, where'd you go? Come back, Attila. See, so it's a lot. I'm coming to y'all, though. Don't leave. Are you still there? Can you say pussy? No. You can't say the P word because we put Sean on punishment for saying it. Sean said it. And we was like, nah, Sean. He kept saying, what do you mean? Pussy's not a bad word. Come on, the president said pussy. You gonna keep saying it? Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think this is a disrespectful topic to any side? To any side, do you think it's disrespectful to any side? I want to get y'all thoughts on it. Trans exclusionary radical feminists is used pejoratively to describe feminists who, man, if you exclude trans women from their category of woman, ooh, hey, Attila, say that. You got to say that. TERF. Trans exclusionary radical feminists. Oh my God, you got to use that. What? Yo, we in a, hey, come on. First off, their name is Piss Monkey. I don't trust anything they got to say. Piss Monkey? Nah. Nah. Nope. somebody has to, one of the sisters that's online has to use turf. I did not know that existed. Educate the listeners, please. Trayvon Walker, what up? And never has anybody ever seen my name spelled with an E. It's always Z-O. Z-O-E is Zoe, right? Wendy's is wildin'. Have you guys heard this shit? Wendy's has something called Buck Biscuits. Now, mind you, it's because they cost $1. But Buck Biscuits is the most insensitive shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm gonna go down and get some Buck Biscuits. Hey, what the fuck is going on? Oh, Trayvon, you gonna spell it wrong twice? Hey, get him up out of here. What the fuck? Buck Biscuits is crazy. The fuck? A Buck Biscuit, nigga. I'm stupid. This is all comedy. Buck Biscuit is wild. Here we go. Wait, hold on. Who is that? Who is that? See, this is what. Go ahead, Andy.
Agree that it's about the education because I actually was engaged to be married to a white man, to an Italian man, and we were together for 8 years. And I have not been in a relationship since. I don't know if I would actually date outside my race again. there is only really one time that I'm against interracial dating, and that is when you're not allowed to bring your full self to the relationship. Because I was in the relationship where I did not challenge my white partner on his anti-blackness.
Ooh.
And instead, I internalized the way he looked at the black community too. And so we both were in our gated community house thinking, this is what, needs to happen and blah, blah, blah. When I realized that this man was not invested in the liberation of my community, nor my black community, nor my LGBT community, but that I was passing. So that means that I'm either going to be with a black man who also has been educated about his anti-blackness and about his misogyny and all those things, or I'm going to be with someone who's not black who understands that, or I'm going to be by my damn self. So my politics have pretty much...
She's bringing up some interesting points. Passing, not being your authentic self, living the American dream when you remember what the minister said that Harry Belafonte told him, that MLK told him. I fear that I'm integrating my people into a burning house. Well, now the question becomes, with this incessant desire to be included into this culture, is there anybody in the LGBTQ community that also has that vision of a burning house? My mama, let me keep it simple. Rose used to always tell me, son, you go where you want it. Don't go where you tolerate it. Go where you are wanted. They gotta want you around. Don't go where you tolerate it. That's really what it is. And I'm posing this question. I'm not a part of the LGBTQ community. Like I said before, I have a brother. I have, I had an uncle, that were a part of that community. And I love both those men who were a part of my life very dearly. But to see somebody fighting to be in the good old boys club, right? Come on. Start your own club. Right? Give God your own name. Have a spiritual experience and say, you know what? I almost died and it was a near-death experience. And when I came back, the word that came to me was this. Have your own creation story. Right? And why worry about whether you're accepted or not? Whether your story is viewed as equal or not? It should only matter to you, right? We've got callers. Where's Attila? Is she back? Attila, you have to hang up and call back in. I got to get to these other callers, but please hang up and get back in. I think Attila, she set us up. She knew I was going to ask her some more. I was about to ask her some more questions. Attila, please call back in. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Let's get these callers in here right now. Nazarene X, Atlanta, Georgia, and then LS from Hawthorne, California. We got to roll through these callers quickly. Nazarene, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, nephew?
Hey, look, first of all, ain't no gay gorillas. They just is what it is out here in the jungle. Last I checked, I did have some questions that came to mind. One, I was wondering if the LGBT, BT plus VH1 conglomerate was going to actually reject salvation from a straight savior, like wondering if it's that deep. That's something that was on my heart earlier, like to say.
Wait, slow down. Say what? I got to hear that again. One more. You're saying was somebody from the LGBT plus Q community.
VH1. like, it's so much division in you.
Wait, you're saying,
question
all right,
is,
wait, you stunned me with the question. You said, will somebody from that community reject a straight savior? I think anybody in that community that calls themselves a Christian, they would accept Jesus as the savior. That is a, man, I'm stunned. You hit me upside the head with that. Go ahead, brother.
Well, it points to, for me in considering is because a lot of the, I guess where things get blurry, through my perspective, is more about, I don't know if the word these days is like androgyny, or basically like an androgynous guy. So where basically even within, which is another question, like I'm wondering if that whole community is more of a cult type of thing to a certain light or not. But it's like it's either about
cult
sexuality and expression, yeah, or like even again gender identification. Because within all of that, I feel like it's so slippery, or like there's so many exits, or shoot, just like how with Christianity, so to speak, there's so many different denominations. Like you got Christian as a big umbrella, you know, in a word, catch-all type of phrase, you know, delicately placed, that you have Pentecostal, apostolic, or genocidal, whatever all of these different layers of division are. People looking to identify with a certain common ground, yet keep their own individuality and fellowship with like-minded people. So long and short, if you position yourself, or you up against so-called a deity or a higher power, what have you, and that's part of the problem. Like, you're not really up against it unless you're in opposition, and that's your own call. But if it's so, you know, if deep down inside, if it's so much about your freedom of sexual expression and your so-called deity that you're up against is like on the opposite side of that, which you reject the, you know, the salvation or the lifestyle or the relationship that you have with that creator, God, or whatever you call it. Like, those type of things came to my mind. Like, I'm wondering how deep it goes. But to that extent, it really ain't none of my business.
No, but still, yet and still, those are some interesting questions. And I would love to ponder on them. Hey, nephew, guess what you just did though? Atlanta is in the building. Yes. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, Hawthorne, California, back to Houston and Dallas, Texas. Let's go. I see you guys didn't like this show at all. There are no cash apps, no super chats, no nothing. Y'all was like, yo.
Can't talk about gay shit with the black community. I'm sorry. They're just not supportive of that.
That's what it is.
They're not trying to hear that shit. Low key, I'm surprised nobody from that community has even called in to maybe even set the record straight, or at least.
Well, I hit him with a pretty sound argument.
Maybe they're just over here like, damn.
They like, damn, he got a point. They like, he got a point. Ain't nobody went out and set up our own belief system. And you know, you slightly want to make jokes about it. Loofah life? Man, I'm eating. Why y'all getting logical on this? I hate motherfuckers who don't ever come for logic and intellect. You just make yourself sound dumb. Listen, I binge watched that whole shit. I had never seen it, and I have been passing it up. But then this weekend, I watched every episode up to season 3, all of it, and the shit is comedy. And when I tell you, just fucking hilarious. Yeah. All right, we're going to get these callers in quick. Attila, I'm going to come to you after LS. I'm coming right to LS. Be ready, be ready, be ready, be ready. It's on Hulu, I believe, but it's also on Tubi. We got to run through these calls, so let's get them. Oh, really? The current season, I'm going there. And a lot of those scenes, it's shot all over Los Angeles, but a lot of those scenes are in Pasadena. I'll be like, oh, they in the hood.
My mind is the human mind, which has got illusions, desires, and all the rest of it. And there is the other mind, which is not, which has no, which is beyond all limitation. This illusory mind, the man-made mind, is always seeking that.
Yes, that's its main trouble.
Yeah, that's its main trouble. It is measuring it, it is advancing, am I getting there, farther, all the rest of it. And this mind, the human mind,
Hey, I'm sorry. Krishnamurti got to play earlier, dog. That's Krishnamurti with Dr. David Bohm, theoretical physicist, author of Wholeness and the Implicate Order. And he's talking about this higher consciousness mind that connects you to the other. Suchness, God, whatever you want to call it. And he's talking about this lower greedy mind, right? And I know what he was about to go into fits tonight's topic so well, but we have so many callers and I want to get everybody an opportunity to say their piece. Let me give Attila the floor. Oh, no. Let me give LS Jefferson. Come on in here. Hawthorne, California. Hey. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so my thoughts are, I do believe that it would be better if they were to choose to create their own, rather than taking some things that actually say that it's an abomination for you to have that type of lifestyle. Choose something that allows you to do you, right? Rather than blaspheme or what they would feel is blaspheme and crucify their Christ, right?
Right.
So why offend while you're trying to be accepted? Why not create your own where you have your own acceptance, and it can be accepted in a way that's different because it will be unique to them. Right?
But yeah, no, I agree with you, but what if they feel like my interpretation is art, number one, and then number two, I don't want to create my own because this is all I've ever known, and I'm creating my interpretation of it so I can still feel like I'm home in that belief system. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are, it's already known and it's already created. And your art is for pictures. Not for... I'm just saying,
Wow.
there's people that are in deep fasting, meditation, and prayer when it comes to their relationship with the God that is within.
So don't play with it, is what you're saying. Don't play with it. I hear you.
Don't play with that type of fire. And then the fact that they want to have the saying of being called woman if they're trans, and have the original biological woman be called cis. We have the woman name for a reason. We have the womb. Our P is a portal for life for other people. So let us have what we already are. And what term has already been used. You are new. You are a creation. You've gone to get things changed. You should have a created name rather than the name that has already been given.
So, have you ever been read by somebody who who sounds sweet? Like, she got like the Claire Huxtable and Vanessa. Look at me when I talk to you, Vanessa. Like, what is going on? LS, guess what you just did? Hawthorne, California is in the building. You know it's a subdivision of LA. You know what Hawthorne is. Let me get Attila in here real quick. Attila, give me your final thoughts on this. Please make it quick.
Yeah. Let me just say real quick. I think when you diminish Black people's efforts and you try to model your movement after ours, all it's going to do is just fail. It's going to collapse because it's not original. Authenticity is original. That's all I got to say. All right, bye.
Ooh, authenticity is original. And then we're going to Dallas, Texas. We're going to stay in the great state of Texas. We're going to Dallas, Texas. Reverend L. Ratchet. Here we go. All right, go ahead, Rev. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, bro?
Greetings, Brother Zoe. No disrespect to anybody at all. But people try to make sense out of an unsensible situation sometimes. When people are sometimes mentally lost and confused, they justify their behavior or they find others to assimilate with. So, to me, this is like a high-class trauma bonding. Some people are allergic to just good decisions. So, have you ever even noticed that some of the homosexuals use their own sexual lifestyle as an insult to others, shunning people for their behaviors that they practice? And to me, that shows exactly how confused sometimes these situations can become. So, my thing is, sometimes it's just no rhyme or reason to certain things, so you just don't need to even entertain them. That's my final thought. And I brought Dallas, Texas in the bill.
Come on, brother. Rev L. Ratchet, long time no hear from. You can always call in and share your profound thoughts. Listen, this is a beefy topic. And yes, you want people to accept all people, all walks of life. You want people to be accepted. But acceptance comes with respect. And again, you don't have harmony unless you have different notes. Everybody can't be the same. So it has to be different notes. And I'm fully encouraging my LGBT community, my brothers and sisters on that side, create it for yourself. Create your song. Create your sonnet. Create your stories. Create them. Don't recreate the system that didn't want you. Don't recreate those stories. Create your stories. And I think you would feel better. I think you would feel empowered. I think you'd have a stronger sense of self, right? We don't need a Black lesbian Jesus. For the people who follow Jesus, they find it offensive. They find it blasphemous. And I can empathize with the art side of it, the humanities side of it, but at the same time, I think heteronormative, right? Those people deserve respect for being what we are, right? Heteronormative. Just like you want, hey, trans and lesbian, gay, bisexual, you want your story and your reality to be acknowledged and accepted as well. If it's going to go both ways, I think both sides should be respected. That's all I'm saying. I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. I'm the voice of reason, live from KBLA Talk 1580. I'll be back tomorrow. You already know what it is, with another slapper. Oprah Damus. Hey, fuck what you're going through. This topic was lit. Appreciate everybody. Love y'all.